overnight, we went from being a company that was on track to do multi-six figures to giving over $400,000 in refunds. A few years ago, I was working as a business analyst in New York. Today, I've built a company that has generated over $28 million. I'm also building luxury hotels across Africa. And so I want to share with you guys some of the key lessons and strategic decisions that I've made in the past few years that has helped me build my businesses from the ground up. I want to give you guys the insider tips and break it down step by step, showing you guys my journey and giving you the blueprint. So make sure you comment, you like, you subscribe, and let me know if you guys want to know more about my life and my career, but let's get into it. All right, so let's dial it all the way back to where it all started. I started my career in tech as a business analyst, and that job taught me structure, systems, strategy, everything that I needed as a founder, things that I still use till today. So no, you don't always have to quit your job to build your dream life. The lesson here for me was use your job as your first investor. Use that job to save and build the foundation before you take that leap of faith. And that was what I did, because honestly, that job helped me see what it really takes to grow and scale a multi-million-dollar business. I was sitting down with the CFO, I was sitting down with the CEO, and I was listening to the conversations, asking them questions. And I now use that knowledge to help me build my own business as well. And so my job was a stepping stone for me to do everything else that I needed to do. Having that job also helped me to take a step back in terms of not having so much stress in my first year of business. And so I was able to make better decisions from a place of what is best for my business rather than from a place of desperation. Because the truth is that when you're hungry and when you don't have the money, you make terrible decisions as a business owner. And so in my first year of business, I absolutely worked my ass off as a business analyst while growing my business on the side. I had employees for the first year of business while still being an employee myself. But what that helped me do is build my passion and really validate my business idea before I jumped in and before I went all in. It also helped me save money. And so I was able to scale back on my lifestyle, save the money that I was earning in one place and reinvest it back into my business. All right, let's go to the next thing. All right, so another stage in my journey was moving to Bali. I moved to Bali to start my business. Back then it was called Chitty Ashley Travels. I didn't have big investors. I just had a plan. I had my laptop, I had my savings, and I had my job. And my goal was to help women travel the world together. And so I worked full time while also building my business. And the lesson here during this time for me in my first year of business was one, I had to prove that the idea worked. And on top of that, I got a chance to really learn what it takes to be a business owner. And so my advice to you is that don't be afraid to make the move. Don't be afraid to leave where you are. I was in New York at the time, and I literally packed up my life in New York and moved to Bali to start my business because I saw an opportunity there. And so I was hosting trips in Bali and then eventually in Thailand, in Peru, in Bermuda, in so many different parts of the world because I was willing to leave where I was and leave my comfort zone and go somewhere where I saw that I could potentially build something big and build something better for myself. And so don't be afraid to make the move. Don't be afraid to leave your city. Don't be afraid to leave the career eventually, but just make sure that you have a plan. And for me, I'm a big proponent of taking calculated risks. Listen, one of the best things that actually happened to me in business was COVID hitting my company in 2020. I mean, overnight, we went from being a company that was on track to do multi-six figures to giving over $400,000 in refunds. But this was the best thing that could have happened to me early on as a business owner, because it helped me realize that you always have to be prepared for crisis situations. You should always have savings, and you need to learn how to adapt. And so from that point on, after having such an amazing first year in business, I mean, by the end of my first year in business, I was hiring people for the same salary that I was making as an employee in my company, right? Eventually, I decided to leave that job and go all in on my company, but I really had an incredible first year in business. And then COVID hit. And so during this time, I had to issue hundreds of thousands of dollars in refunds. And then on top of that, I needed to figure out what to do with my company, right? Because at this point in time, we had no one traveling. And so we stopped making money for a decent amount of time. It was several months before we saw any money coming into our account. Something incredible happened. Tulum, Mexico opened up to the world. And it was one of the first places that travelers started to go back to. And so in a time where previously we were doing trips to Bali, to Thailand, Southeast Asia, we decided that we had to make a major pivot. And so I gathered my team together and I made sure that we went all in on selling Tulum, Mexico. Let me tell you guys, I sold Tulum, Mexico like my life depended on it, because it literally did at that time. And so we had hundreds of travelers going to Tulum, Mexico, and we made it a signature destination. We really started to create different packages at different price points. And this is a lesson in pivoting, being able to understand where when you get knocked down as a business, how can you get back up? What are the different things that you can do in terms of changing your product or your service to appeal to what customers need right now? And that's how we were able to survive COVID by the skin of our teeth. We didn't make much profit that year, but we were able to stay alive and bring some money in. And I was able to keep my team around so that we can go back the next year and continue to kill it. All right, so after Bali, after spending so much time in Bali in the initial stages of my business, I made a bold decision to move to Dubai. And listen, guys, I had built my dream house in Bali. I spent 2 years building that house, and I felt like I finally had the life that I wanted, but I needed to make a move. I needed to do something bold and be in a space that matched the next level of ambition. And Dubai gave me access to talent, to investors, to partners, and it helped me develop a network that changed everything for my business. The sacrifice was that I was gonna have to leave the comfort of Bali and go where the opportunities are. And so again, you guys can see in my journey, it's having the global mindset to be able to pick up and move and to be able to get out of my comfort zone and be where I needed to be at the time. And so Dubai for me was the next big move. I saved a lot of money in taxes, which helped me to be able to reinvest in my business and to be able to focus on expansion, but also doubling down on the operational aspect of my business. And so that was a time for me where I really shut out all the noise. And for 2-3 years, I was completely focused on the systems in my business. I really started to think about what the customer journey looked like at every single touch point. And this was the moment in time in my business where things rapidly started to increase and the momentum started to build. And that's when we started to do millions. And so you're going to have a phase in your business where you go from things being just you as the founder to you now building a team and for the momentum to build. And that is a stage where you really need stability. And so Dubai gave me that stability and also the opportunity to build that network. All right, so let's talk about one of the biggest stages in my business career, and that has been building a community. Luxe Tribes did not grow because of paid ads. We actually spent no money on paid advertising to get to $28 million in revenue. What we did instead was build a community of women who love to travel together, to share their stories, and we created a network. And so our travelers became our biggest ambassadors. And here the lesson for me is that community is the most powerful form of marketing. Building a connection with your customers without only focusing on conversion, right? And so for me, one of the things that I would say to you is that if you are building a business, forget about the paid ads, forget about the vanity metrics, and focus on connecting with your customers. Study their behaviors. Figure out what are the things that they are interested in and immerse yourself in that world. Build a community by bringing people together, or build a community by being a thought leader in whatever it is that you are selling, and that will naturally make people be attracted to your business. And then focus on that, focus on organic content and showing up every single day for your customers. That's how we were able to grow our business without spending money on paid advertising. So I spent 6 years curating trips for other travelers and spending millions of dollars placing our travelers in luxury hotels across the world and building a travel community of over 300,000 people. And so now I decided that it's time to build our own hotels. And so that's exactly why I am now building a new company called the Nuraya Collection. And what we're going to be doing is building luxury hotels across Africa, starting with Nuru Marrakesh, which is a hotel in Marrakesh, Morocco. And we're also building Naya Zanzibar. My lesson in this phase of life is that you have to be willing to take those bold decisions and to go where the opportunities are. And for me, the opportunity right now is to build luxury hotels, leveraging the knowledge that I have from years of booking hotels for other travelers and years of spending so much money traveling myself and staying at some of the best hotels across the world. And so I'm taking my taste, but I'm also taking the data points that I have collected over the years of understanding what travelers want to see when they are booking a property and taking that to then build a hotel. And the thing about it is that usually when people build hotels, they build the property and then they look for the traveler. But the thing with us is that I already have a network and a community of travelers who are excited for us to plan their trips. And naturally, we can then place them in the hotels that I am building. And so that's my strategy for building up the occupancy with these properties and making sure that they are ultra successful. Listen, if you take anything from my journey, I want you to take this. Life is literally about being willing to pivot and being willing to get up and go. My journey has been one that has been global. I have moved from New York to Bali to Dubai, and now I'm moving to Morocco to build hotels in Africa because I believe that you have to go where the opportunities are. Life is only going to hand you what you are willing to get up and get. And so for me, I am always going to have my hand out and I am always going to be willing to take whatever life gives me and then multiply it. And so if you guys have been following my journey up until this point, I just want to say a huge thank you because I have had so many people that have booked a trip with Luxe Tribes, that have sent me encouraging messages, that have been willing and supportive of everything that I've been doing. And it honestly means a lot. And you guys haven't seen anything yet. When it comes to luxury and when it comes to execution, that is literally my middle name. And so with this hotel, I'm so excited to show you guys a lot more of what I am made of. So make sure you comment, you like, you subscribe, and join the family, and stay tuned for more business videos, but also stay tuned for hotel content. And if you are interested in investing in Nuru Marrakesh or Naya Zanzibar, you can actually become a co-owner and you can actually earn from the revenue of the hotel business. That means you can earn from the hotel revenue, from the rooms, from the spa, from the restaurant. You become a co-owner just like me. I am investing millions of dollars of my own money into building these hotels, and you can be a part of that too. So make sure you check the link in my bio if you want to be a part of that. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.